Hello and welcome to this week tutorial. In this week tutorial, we continue working on another project that we started last week. In the last video, it is the last project for this JavaScript series. It's a design to code project. It's a landing page for a fictional application called Progress. It's a project management system. In the last week tutorial, we designed it. As you can see, we designed this last week tutorial. There'll be a link in the description where you can go watch how we designed this. And this week tutorial, we saw laying out the HTML, and then next week the CSS, and after that the JavaScript. Let me just show you the finished project, working project of the design. So this is the finished project. After we finish everything, this is how it look like. We had the navigation right here, the logo, the menu right here, this button, and then we had this nice slider, image slider right here, big slider. When I click next, it also support video background right here and show the preview for the next, preview for the previous. So if I click next, go back to our first slide, click second slide, click, and go to the last slide. So all of this gonna be using JavaScript. Now start scrolling down, the header change color at this big app area. It's the dashboard right here, and they have this feature section, this nice section with this nice decoration, this animation, CSS animation right here. Now we creating all of that, and then we had the meet the team section with this nice code right here, the 3 code, and this pricing area, this nice pricing table right here. And when you click on the yearly, it calculates it and it changes. I click again, go back to the monthly, yearly. Now we have this nice call to action section, the footer right here. And gonna be responsive. I right click to inspect, and I choose the responsive icon right here. As you can see, it's fully responsive. See, as you can see, everything looks responsive. Back to monthly right here, and I see the logo change to this small one. But I increase it, it goes to the wording. If I with the smaller devices, I go to back to this. We are using HTML to do this one. Okay, so that will be the end. After we finish everything, this is how it will look like. In this week tutorial, we'll be laying out just the HTML, and the next week laying out the CSS, and after that the JavaScript, and we're going to create this nice slider image with a video background. There's a link in the description where you can go download the starter file with the HTML, empty HTML, the images and everything, and then we can get started writing the HTML. So without further ado, let's get started. Welcome back. My name is Marius, and this channel I create web design and development tutorial. So if that's something that interests you, feel free to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon so you'll be notified every time we release new tutorial. In this tutorial, we continue from our projects from last week. Last week we designed it, and this week we start laying out the HTML. So this is the final project right here. That's how it look like. And this week we start laying out the HTML. There's a link in the description where you can go download the starter folder, and you should see the HTML, and that's the HTML SaaS folder with all the partial, and then currently we are empty, and I won't be worrying about that until next week tutorial when we start writing the CSS. In the JavaScript, we should see the script.js and the carousel.js, both of them empty. We're not touching it until the last tutorial. And then here you see the images that we need and the video right here for the video background. So I'm just gonna close this one out. So the HTML just had a basic HTML boilerplate. The title, put the title right here as you can see. And it's the Google fonts, which is the popping right here. The live icon, which is this one right here. And then the remix icon for the icon that we'll be using. For example, this icon right here, the arrow, all of that. I'll be using the remix icon, and then I'll link to the CSS right here. Right now we don't have it right now, but once we start writing the SaaS, we'll be able to generate the CSS. So when you open it, you should see this already. The header, the hero section, the app, all of this. So we get started with the header section. So we already have the header element with the class header. Here you can delete this, make a couple spaces, and then put the nav. Is a nav element with a class called header underscore nav. And also, by the way, I'm using now a live server to be able to open local host. So when I save something here, it automatically refreshes it, so I don't have to come to manually refresh this. For example, if I say hello right here, you can see. So the extension called live server. She's right here, this one, live server. That's what it's giving me this live reload right here. So create a nav, go down here, write a little comment right here to show where the nav is ending. Inside here, create a container, give a class called container. It's important to comment your code so you know where it's starting and ending. Inside of the container, I create a div with a class called header underscore flex. Inside of the header flex, create our first element, the logo. So the header logo. Inside here, with an anchor element, href will be the index that HTML. Inside here, now you can see right now we have this logo, but when we resize it to be smaller than this, we get this small one. Okay, we use a technique called alt direction so we can show a different size of the logo on different screen sizes. So maybe on the larger screen size we show the full name of the logo, and a smaller devices we show the smaller version. Okay, so to do that we use the picture element. Now we give it a class called brand. Inside here we need a source element also, and this one, it takes some attribute. The first attribute, the media, and the value of this is just like media query. We specify the size, the width that we want to do, either max width or min width. So put parentheses, this guy will say max width, want it to be 552 pixel, and then after this you say SRC set right here, and then this is where we specify the image. So in this case we go inside the images folder, we look for brand dash logo dash sm dash svg. Okay, so this one say if we are at this max width from 0 to this, then show this image. Okay, and then we need to duplicate this again, and now this time after this width, say min width, say 553. Now from 553 and up, we're going to show different logo. Now instead of SM, it's LG. And then after that, we use our image again element, and we specify the default image. So if none of this works, this image right here will be used. So say images, and I use our brand logo LG, the SVG. And for the alt attribute, I will say progress logo. If I save this, you see the big one. If I resize it, now you see the small one. But this SVG, that's why it took the full width. But when we get to the CSS, we'll be able to style it. So we resize it back. Yeah. Okay. So that's the alt direction. We're able to change the image based on the screen size. So header logo is finished. I'm going to collapse this. And then after header logo, we go down to the URL, the menu item right here. So I'm going to create a UL element with a class called header underscore menu. And here create a light element with a class called header underscore menu, 2 dashes, list. And inside of it, I go use the greater sign. I'm going to anchor elements. Okay, so this going to create a light element inside of it, the anchor element. I will say home for this one, and I can duplicate this within for home, feature, theme, and pricing. So I can duplicate this 3 more times. 1, 2, 3. Okay, but I'm going to show you another way to create all of this, but I will have to duplicate it. So we comment all of this one out real quickly. Go Control /. So with parentheses, create my li class with a dot class called header menu list. And then instead of it, one anchor element, then we can use the curly brackets and specify the contents we need. So this can say home. All of this is multiply by 4. So we need to roll 4 of them. Press enter. Now we get all of this again. Now we just need to change the rest. Home, the features. This will be themes, and the last one pricing. I will delete this, save it, come back here, we get them right here. That's the menu. I will collapse this. After the menu, we need the our button, this one and this one. So let's do the button first. So create another div with a class element called header underscore extra, anchor element with a class called button, and button underscore primary. We had 2 buttons. This is the primary, and we got the secondary. So this is the primary. I can't be gets started. Okay, add a comment right here. After that, create a mobile menu. So mobile menu icon. So I create a header, mobile. Inside here, I create a button, the button element with a class called header underscore mobile 2-btn, where the ID called toggle menu. The ID will be used for the JavaScript. And now we're going to use the icon on our remix library. So it's remix.com. It is, so we're going to look for menu, and this is the one that we're using. So it's a copy, come here, paste it, save it, and we got it right here. Now I won't do anything. So that is the header. That's it for the header. Now we move to the hero session. Nice. For our hero, we got this full screen slider right here, as you can see. So we have to create that. So here we create another div with a class called carousel. Inside of carousel, create a carousel navigation for the arrows. So be carousel, div with a class called carousel nav. Inside of here, we're going to create a button element with a class called carousel underscore arrow, and then another class called carousel underscore arrow 2-left, and then an ID using the hash symbol arrow left. The ID will be used to select in the JavaScript. Press enter. Then we get this. Inside here, we'll create use our remix icon. I'll copy from the other screen real quickly. So this is what we're using, but this class right here. Alright, arrow left line. After this one, create a preview. This preview right here. So it's a span element, class called slider preview dash preview. And inside of it, we use the icon again. This time we're going to use the play icon. So right here, so for example, I click left, it shows that there's a video. Yeah, if there's a video for the next slide, it will show this icon right here, as you can see. So we're going to use our remix icon again. Let me copy it real quickly. So this is the icon right here. Save everything. We get all of this. I see nothing for now. So that's the left arrow key. Just gonna copy all of this one. Hold the Shift, Alt, and the down arrow key on the Visual Studio Code, and we duplicate it. And here, let's change the class from left to right, and ID also right. And this one, I will give it a class for now called slider as a video. when we get to a JavaScript, we'll be using the JavaScript to add this class and to remove it. This class will be used to show either the play icon or remove it. Every time it has this class, the play icon will be shown. If it does have it, the play icon will be hidden. So this one, we want to move this pen element. Tap here. And then the icon instead of left, it will be right. Save it. Now we get it right here. Left, right. So that's the navigation right here. After the navigation, I will collapse the navigation. Now, if you need time to write it, feel free to pause it and then write it. I will collapse it for now. So after the navigation, we start working on the individual slide. Like this is the first one, second one, third one. I will use the order list element OL with a class called carousel underscore track. Inside here, the li element with a class called carousel slide, and these will be each individual slide. And then inside here, we create image element with a class called carousel underscore image, and our source will be images. We go inside our images folder. Then we look for hero-1.jpg. We leave this one empty. And after this one, we start putting the content. Start putting this content. This image will be used for the background, and these contents, now we start putting them right here. So I create the container. Now inside of the container, we create a class called hero underscore contents like this, and we take all the contents. And inside here, we put our heading one. I will say get your team on track. And then down here, the heading 2, I will say manage your projects the way that works for you. And after this one, we create a div class called hero CTA. That's where we put the two button. So with the anchor element with the class called button, and also on the called button primary, and this one it will leave it empty, and it will say get started. I would hold a shift or T to down arrow key to duplicate it, and this one is secondary, and so instead of get started we say C it's in action, and then we're gonna create use our play button again, this icon. So I'm gonna copy it real quickly. So save this. I see the image is bigger than the actual page right here. But no, this is the icon with the button, the test, all of this. So that's the first slide. The second slide is just the same content, just different image. And the third one, just the same content right here, a video background. And we'll go back to the first. So just gonna copy this and paste it. Go down a few times, paste it, and this one will be hero 2. Save it. Get 1, get 2, and then go down again, paste it, and this one won't be hero 2. Go video, that PM4, and no, we won't be using image, so we use the video element, and our source will be images, video, that mp4. And then gonna use the poster attribute. This is where we add the poster, so this is like the thumbnail. So in this case, we can go inside the images / and we look for video poster.jpg like this. We save. So this is the poster, as you can see in here. That's the poster. Okay, you want to add a poster, this is what it look like. This is the actual video. So that's it for the hero session for now, for the carousel. Next week we add our CSS, so you start looking nice, taking shape, and then after that the JavaScript to wrap everything up, other functionality and interactivity. So I will close this one, close the hero session right here, then go to the app right here, and this app we're talking about, this right here, and this will be very simple. Inside app we give it another class here called container, a container class, and here should I remove some of the space, create image element, and the source attribute be images / progress SaaS app. By the way, the SaaS stands for software as a service. And for the alternate, say progress dash projects management system. Just like that. Save it. This image is huge. It's a 1920 by 1080. So that's the app. After that, we finish with the app just like that. Close this one and go to our features, which is this. And a little bit to squish, and like 2x2 and 3, and larger devices like 3 3 3 1 1 1. So we're all on the same line. On smaller devices, then tablets size like this, like 2x2, and then the third one take the full width. One very smaller devices, just one count, as you can see. So right here, remove this feature stuff, and now we give it the class as class called defaults spacing. When we start adding the CSS, you understand what the default spacing. It will be used to add some space to each section on the top and on the bottom using padding. So with that, we're gonna create our container again. Inside the container, we create our heading 2. But on this, the heading 2, this right here. Give it the class called section dash heading. Then give it a class called text center. We want to align this to the center, and our test will be feature that. Now after that, we create our row. I will hold our column. Inside of the row, we create the column, so we need 3. Let's see, 3 column, 1, 2, 3. This is gonna be on 12 grade column base. So I will create a flex dash 4. Then we need total of 3, so times 3. I'll go right here, write little comments. Inside the first one, we create the feature box. So let's start with features. Underscore box. And here, create the icon, this icon, SVG icon. So I create a div called features icon. Is the image element. That's actually the images / mobile icon, the SVG. Is the heading 3 element, and we say mobile friendly. And I use a paragraph now. Paragraph element. Say long. Say 30. Save this. This is what we get right here. Now we need for the other 2. So I'm just going to copy this feature box right here. Control C, come down here, paste it, and we're just going to change the image and our title right here. So this one will be cloud, and this will be cloud storage. Save this, make sure we have it. We got it right here. And then for the last one, paste it again, and this one will be notification icon, and this will be real time notification. So we get this. So that's it for the feature session. So I collapse all of this. Now we move to the video conference. This is what I call a video conference right here, this session. Okay. So come down here. In here, we create a div called flex for now. And in between, we need 2. We got this side right here and this side right here. On larger devices, you can see this extend outside of the container. this is the container start right here and end right here, but this is extending outside the container into half the width of this section right here. This also took half out of the way, so we need to keep that in mind. So here we create the first one. Create our div called video conference to underscore video. And here we create our image, where our source attribute be images / video conference.jpg, and create our play button icon. So create a class called play button with a dash in between right here, and we're going to use again our play button icon, this one. Save it and get it right here. With our CSS, we add the animation, all of this to it. So that's the first half. Now the second half will be called video conference underscore contents, and here we're going to use the container again. Inside of the container is our heading 2 element for the class section heading, and here we say FHD, we send a full HD, and this the ampersand sign, so we just create this sign right here. So the HTML 4K video conferencing. So I save this. This is what we get. And on the bottom of that, create paragraph with a lorem 45. If you don't have a not using Visual Studio Code, you can just find a dummy test on the internet, generate a dummy test, and just use and paste it right here. And after this one, create our anchor elements for the button, for the call button. Again, because the button primary, and again this will be get started. Save it, get everything right here. So that's the conference area. So if you need time to copy this, feel free to pause it and write it, but we'll collapse it for now, and we move to the next on the team session. Okay, now for our team session, first we need to add a class called default spacing again. Spacing, and inside here we create a container again, and create our heading 2 with a class called section heading, and we say meets the team, and create a row with 3 columns, and our flex -4 into the 3 of them. And between here, we start creating the code. So I create a div with class called code. Inside here, we create our code header. Inside of it, we need this as well. Working now. Now we have our entire code, a code header, and then the code body right here. So first thing, the code header right here, and the images / looking for theme-1.jpg, and then we give it a class also called themes image. My little comment right here, so we know this is the code header. And after this, get a code body, and then we give it another class for text center because we want to center this text later on when we start styling it. Little comment right here. And here, either heading 3 for the name, and write our name right here. You just span element with a class called title, and we write the title. In this case, software engineer. We save this. We get our first code right here. Just collapse this, copy this, and paste it in the second column. And this one is gonna be 2, and then be Andrew 3, and our title will be front end engineer. And for the last one, paste it again in the code, and then this time will be 3. The name will be Jonathan. That's quarter. And then the title will be leader projects manager. Save this. Collapse the code. If you need anytime, feel free to pause it and copy it. I will collapse it for now, so we continue working on the others also. So that'll meet the theme. Now we move to the pricing right here. So sell pricing, we had our pricing title right here. We add this button, toggle button, and these 3 code right here. So let's do that. This also take the class default, spacing, and here we create a container again. Heading 2 class session heading, and with our other pricing, call button, class call button, toggle, and then we're going to give us some custom data attribute, custom data, and this will be pricing. This is what we're going to use in the JavaScript to be able to slide this, and this will be monthly. I can see as you refresh, it's on the monthly. In the JavaScript, we'll be able to change this one. Let's say we set this to yearly, it will be able to store under yearly, and then give it another ID called pricing toggle. A little comment right here. So here we create a span element of class called slider button. And this slide button is this element right here that keeps sliding, right? This one. Yeah, that's the element right here. The slide button. So that will be empty, and then I'm going to duplicate this 2 more times. Go Shift Alt down arrow key twice. And this one we had a monthly class monthly, and this yearly. And as you can tell, this we had a content called monthly, and this one yearly. So whatever corresponding here, we have the active class. So this, let's say this yearly, then the yearly will be active or something like this. Okay. So if I save this, I save. Yeah, right here. They're right here. Now it's not doing anything right now. So that's the button. Now we go down to the row, so we can start laying out the pricing tables. Again, we need 3 columns, so we create another flex as 4 multiplied by 3 again. And the first one, we start with a card again. Give a class called card, and inside of the card we create a card header. Inside of the card header, we create a div, another div called pricing. Header, and another called pricing startup. Pricing name, and here create a div called name, and will be startup. I create a span element called frequency. It called bill monthly. And after that, after the pricing name, the called pricing price. And this will hold the actual price. So in this case, $10 per month. Save this. Get this for now. Nothing fancy. And after our code header right here, we finish with our pricing header right there, and our code header. So if you want to capture, you can pause it and write this, but we move to the code body. Side of the code body, say create a code body. Side of the code body, create UL element called pricing. Underscore features, and here we're going to list all the features. So I'm just going to copy from the other screen real quickly. So if you want to pause it and write this, that's fine. But if you just want to write, like say 1 2 3 4 that's just fine. So you just have a li element with a class called pricing feature with our features, the present future and write something right here. It's going to be the same for all the three code. So if you take a look right here, get the same thing. Let's save this. You get all of this. Now that's for the startup. So I'm gonna collapse this. No, not yet. Go down here for the folder. So call the folder after the code body. Make sure to use 2 underscore. This create our button. So anchor element with class for button and button underscore primary. We say starts. Nah, here, sorry. Start 14 day 3 Friday. Save it. So we get this. Now I'm gonna collapse this and our folder also and our entire code. Copy it. Control C. Count down the second column and Control V. And this will be corporates. Instead of startup right here be corporates. And for our code right here, if you take a look for the corporate, it's different. This like the recommended one, so it's different than this and this. Okay, so we're gonna add for the code, we're gonna add on the class called pricing to underscore recommended. Recommend like this. And then this one will be corporate. And bill monthly is fine, and this will be $50. And the rest are fine. So I'm gonna collapse this and this. And come down here and paste the last one. And this will be up here. So instead startup will be enterprise. And this also will be enterprise. And this will be $90 per month. So that's it for our pricing session. At our startup, our corporate, and the enterprise. Now, last but not least, our folder. I'll collapse all of this. So that's it for the pricing. Now move to the last session with the folder. So in here we have two types of folder. We have the CTA, this one right here, and then we have the bottom folder. We have the copyright, the logo, and this bottom navigation right here. Okay, so we need these two. So in here we first start with tab 1. So I'll create a container, class called container, and inside here create a class called folder underscore tab, your tab folder, and then text again center. Inside here create a heading 2. We give it a class called h3. Once we get the styling, you understand. We want this to be have the heading 2 to be heading 2, but we want the font size for the heading 3 to apply to this. So it will be never miss another deadline deliver your projects on time and fast. Save this, get this for now, and then after the container, I'm going to close this one and I'm going to start working on the folder bottom. So I create class called folder underscore bottom, and here create my container. Inside of container, I will use my flex class again. Inside of flex, we create 3 different sections. One for the copyright, the logo, and the folder navigation. So first thing, create a div with class of folder, copy, rights, and I use the ampersand copy. It will give the copyright symbol, the 2021, the website name, it's progress, rights reserve, and then save the folder logo. We got a header logo, now we're in the folder logo. So image, so the images / brand logo sm.svg, and then after this folder now, and inside here create a UL element with a class called folder menu, and then again create up my parentheses, the li inside of it, one anchor element, the content. In this case I put about right here, and then multiply all of this by 4. And the first one is about, the second one say blog, third one say legal, and the last one privacy policy. Save it, and we get this. Okay, and that's our folder right here. So if you need some time to copy this, pause it or rewind it to copy it. So that's the folder right there. So that's the HTML that we just lay out. Next week we start adding the CSS. So we take a look inside your SaaS folder. You see all the partial right here, and the main that SCSS right here, which already imports all that we need, but all of this empty. For example, you go inside the variable, it's empty. We're gonna do all of that from scratch. Okay, so you see how everything gets set up. Okay, so we start adding the CSS in the next week video, and then the video after that one, which will be the 4th video, part 4, we add our JavaScript for this interactivity. For example, all of this to work, this, all of that, and the most important, this right here. Okay, So that's the HTML right here. So feel free to subscribe if you have not already done so. Like and share this. And next week when I release the tutorial, you'll be able to jump in. So start adding the CSS to make it look nice. And then after that, add a JavaScript to make all this interactivity. I really want to focus on this carousel, show you a lot of feature, different technique in JavaScript. Also this. So feel free to subscribe and put on the bell notification so you'll be notified when I release those tutorials. Okay, so that's it for this week tutorial. Thank you very much for sticking by and watching it. Thank you again, and until next time, have a great one. Bye.